Hey all, Sean here from Tesla Family. Well, it happened again. I cannot believe it. This is the third time my Model 3's been in an accident. Again, not my fault. My Model 3 was hit in the rear end, so a rear end collision on the highway, and now I've got to figure out how I'm going to get it repaired. Let's take a look at the accident video recorded from the rear camera of my Model 3 real quick, right here. So I found out that the Tesla body shop that I took my Model 3 to the first two times has no availability. So where am I going to take my Model 3 to this time to get repaired? Well, I'm going to take it to a Tesla approved body shop. Let's jump in. All right, so rear end damage here. What we can see on the surface is some impact marks here on the rear bumper. Luckily, it looks like the trunk, at least my initial assessment, was not damaged. Mainly, this is just a rear bumper piece that was damaged. Obviously, the lower trim piece here is damaged. It's hanging down. We lost a rear reflector here. We lost a rear ultrasonic sensor here. And the lower rear tray is just kind of hanging here. Additionally, the impact was so hard that the bumper actually pushed in somehow and dented the interior lower part of my trunk. Let's take a closer look at that. So if I get down low and we get zoomed in here, look at that indentation. This is where the trunk used to come down. A nice straight line, it was indented here several inches. So that impact, quite substantial there. They're going to have to replace this piece. It looks like we got a broken attachment point here. I have no idea. Oh, look at that. There's the reflector. I have no idea if this is structural. I doubt that it is, but I'm not quite sure how they're going to get that piece replaced, or whether or not it will. I don't think it will total my vehicle, but we'll have to see. Thankfully, though, I'm driving an EV. This would be the place in an ICE vehicle where your gas tank would be. Imagine a dent or a puncture in your gas tank. That would not have been good at all. I will open the trunk. It's rather hard to open, but it still does open. It pops very hard. And I think that's due to the inward pressing of the rear bumper, displacing the attachment point here. We've got the cover taken off of the lower rear trunk, and take a look at this here. Look at the indentation from this impact. That's crazy. So coming around here to the right hand side, we can also see how the bumper, the impact here was so hard that it just pushed out these clips and broke a tab here. No damage I can see to my rear tires. I don't believe we've got any damage to the actual metal part of my Model 3. These plastics look to be okay. I think my rear light is okay. It's mainly just the plastic here, and then the lower trunk compartment piece. All right, so I mentioned before the Tesla body shop in Rockville, Maryland, where I've taken my Model 3 to two previous times, and both times they've done an excellent job repairing my car. Unfortunately, I emailed them and they reached back saying that Tesla corporate has closed their scheduling basically indefinitely, and I'm not able to get my car repaired there. So looking on Tesla's website, they have a website which I'll share with you right here that will show you some options for Tesla approved collision centers. And I found one right next door actually. I'm going to be bringing my Model 3 there to get the repair done. And they have an opening in a week and a half. So I've got to wait about 10 days to get the car in, and hopefully from there we'll see how everything works. Going to drop the car off. They're going to do a tear down, a full inspection, a first estimate, get an approval from the other party's insurance company, since this accident was not my fault, then go ahead and with the repair process. I have no idea at this point if there'll be some severe delays due to part shortages or not, but we'll have to just go along for the ride. The other good thing about using a collision center is that they're also an approved body shop through the insurance company. So that just means that I don't have to worry about paying out of my pocket for anything and then getting reimbursed. All of the repairs are going to be paid for directly through the insurance company. I just drop my car off and then they call me when it's done. So that's a good thing. In the meantime though, the other party's insurance company has set us up with a rental, and we're happy to say that we have a Tesla Model 3 rental. Exactly what we wanted. We don't want to be running to the gas station, filling up a nice car. We just want to continue on with charging our Model 3 and using it in our daily life. We got this Tesla rental through Hertz, which we know through the news that Hertz has 100,000 Teslas across the US. And this happens to be a standard range LFP Model 3. So a little bit different than my long range dual motor. This is just standard range, but it'll get us by. We're happy to have it. And we'll be able to do our daily driving as needed while charging to 100%. Have to do that with LFP while my Model 3 is getting repaired. Well, we've got the rental in the Midnight Silver Metallic with what looks like to be the 19-inch wheels on it. Again, not dual motor, just standard range. Rear-wheel drive Model 3. Still looks beautiful. And I believe this is a 2022. So it has all the newer features that my 2018 Model 3 doesn't have, including the infamous rear tail light with the condensation on it. All right, I'm gonna get this Model 3 into the garage and get it on the charger. We only picked it up from Hertz with 20% on the battery. If you want to learn more about renting a Tesla from Hertz, check out my video linked above, where we rented a Tesla Model 3 when we went down on a vacation to Florida last year. All right, guys, we are on our way. Today's the day to drop off my Model 3 to the Tesla approved collision center in Rockville, Maryland. Dropping off the Model 3. And hopefully we'll see how long it will take to get repaired. Hopefully not too long, but I'll try to keep you updated along the way throughout this video. So even with the rear damage to the Model 3, including one of the ultrasonic sensors being pushed out of its hole and dangling, full self-driving still works. Check this out. There's no errors that had popped up, just still works. All right, just dropped off my Model 3 at the Tesla Approved Body Center. The drop-off process was pretty easy. I just went in there, signed a consent form, gave them the policy number for the insurance company. I went and met with one of the employees to show them the damage, and then passed on my key card. They're hoping to get the car into the shop today or tomorrow, and then providing me a estimate that they're also going to be sending to the other person's insurance company by Friday. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the estimate for the repairs to my Model 3. So this will include all the parts that they're going to either repair or replace on my Model 3, and we'll start off from the top here. From the rear body and floor section of the car, they're replacing the rear body panel, an aluminum body panel, $330, 8.5 hours of labor cost, and 1.4 hours of paint labor. I'm only going to hit on really the big ticket items here. There's some rivets associated with that body panel. Scrolling down a little further, the rear floor pan, which is aluminum, $615 for that part. Down a little bit further, we have the rear floor pan, which is aluminum, $615 is the cost for that part. 9.5 hours of labor to replace that part, and 2.6 hours of paint labor. And then they're going to be replacing a rail extension on the right hand side and on the left hand side. A lot of these parts also have rivets associated with them. And then they're replacing a lower support on the right and left side. Additionally, they're replacing the rear cover, $150 of cost, and 0.3 hours of labor. They're also repairing the trunk trim, $165 for that. And here's another big ticket item, the bumper cover that comes unpainted. That's going to be $536 for that part, and then 2.8 hours of paint labor. Then the lower cover, $95, and the impact bar, $200. with 0.6 of an hour of labor. The rear inner parking sensor that I showed in the beginning, $120 to replace that parking sensor. Under miscellaneous operations, one of the big ticket items here is the impact resistant structural adhesive. That's going to cost $209. They need 2 of those. The subtotal for all the parts was $2,963.82 with 38.8 hours of labor and 10.7 hours of paint labor. So the cost for the body labor was $48 an hour, the paint labor $48 an hour, 1 hour of mechanical labor at $85 an hour, and then also paint supplies. There's equivalent amount of paint labor hours, so 10.7 hours of paint supplies at $32 per hour. So the subtotal is $5,719.22. Then, of course, we got to add some sales tax onto all the new parts, bringing the grand total of the estimate to $5,917.41. While I was looking for more information when I was scanning through the estimate, I did find this pretty cool website from Tesla. It's the Model 3 Collision Repair Manual. This is an online resource. It looks like maybe for the repair technicians to use, that guides them kind of step by step in the repairs. I'm going to show you an example of the trunk floor assembly repair steps, which of course my Model 3 needs. Here's an image of where the trunk floor assembly is in the vehicle, and then if you scroll down, it gives you a parts list. So you'll need 1 trunk floor assembly, 4 structural rivets 6.5 millimeters, and 17 structural bulb rivets at 6.5 millimeters. Once you have all of those parts, you got a 4-step repair procedure. First, you remove the original component, then you prepare the area for installation, and then you apply structural adhesive to the matting surfaces on the vehicle and the new components, and then you install the new component. So really nice that they provide this as a online resource for the repair, and I guess if you felt up to it enough, you probably could do some repairs yourself using this really neat manual. Alright, today is the day after more than 2 months with my Tesla Model 3 at a Tesla approved body shop in for rear end repairs. It's time to go down to the body shop and pick it up. Here's a quick summary of the timeline from between when the accident occurred to pickup day today. The accident occurred on February 10th. We were able to work with the other party's insurance company to get a rental car just 3 days later on that following Monday. And then I was able to drop off my Tesla Model 3 on February 22nd. That was the first available appointment. That was 12 days after the accident. And it took a little while for them to complete the estimate, which was done on March 3rd, 21 days after the accident. Work started on March 8th, 26 days after the accident. And then the car was still in the shop, but we had to head out west for a little vacation, little family vacation. So with the risk of my car being completed, which was scheduled for March 31st, while we were on vacation, we decided to drop off the rental car early. We dropped the rental off just before we left on March 28th. This is 46 days after the accident, and we ended up having the rental for 43 days. The other party's insurance company covered our Tesla Model 3 rental for that 43 days. And then 56 days after the accident, on April 7th, I got a call from the body shop saying my Model 3 was finally complete. Was still actually on vacation at that time, so not able to pick it up until today, which is April 12th, 61 days after the accident. All right, let's check out that repair. There it is. Well, here it is. No, it's not my Tesla Model 3. It's a 2021 Volkswagen Jetta. Not sure where to start here, but I went to pick up a Model 3, and in doing a 360-degree inspection of the vehicle, just to make sure everything looked good, I found some damage to the driver's side rear door and rear quarter panel. So I pointed the damage out to the employee that I was standing there with, and they owed up to it, and they're going to repair my Model 3. Unfortunately, it's going to be in the shop for probably another 2 days, unless we push over the weekend. Yeah, kind of a bummer to hear that the body shop didn't find that in their quality assurance inspection, and didn't point that out to me, or even didn't just fix it before I found it. I had to find the damage, point it out to them. Although I'd rather have my Model 3 back, they gave me this loaner for a couple days, and they're going to be reimbursing me for fuel. But definitely going to be dropping at least 1 star in the review for that. All right, it's been 4 days since I was supposed to pick up the Model 3, but then found the damage on the rear passenger quarter panel. Looks like they've repaired the damage. I can't see it anymore. Well, that's a good thing. So the car should be very close to being finished. They got the tires armor-alled. They still got some pink marker here on the rear bumper where I guess they just haven't had a chance to buff that out yet. So maybe tomorrow I'll be ready. All right, guys, I'm in the loaner from the body shop. It's been 5 days since I first went to pick up my Model 3. Found that damage on the driver's side there caused by the body shop. Had to let them keep it there for 5 days while they repaired it, and now it's time to go pick it up and we'll give it another shot. Hopefully the Model 3 looks amazing, and hopefully I could turn the loaner back in and drive my Model 3 home after more than 2 months now. It's really been a long run and I really miss it. All right, finally got some good news here. 67 days after the accident, I finally have my Model 3 back from the body shop. All the repairs are complete, and it just feels good to be back in the Model 3. Man, I missed it. So today is April 18th. The accident occurred on February 10th. That was just a long time, more than 2 months without your car, especially when you're a big fan of Tesla and you absolutely love your car. It was just a long time to be without it, but glad to have it back, and it looks good. Let's take a 360 view around the car and see how the body shop did. All right, we are starting out here with the rear bumper, and this was the big job here. This is what they had to replace. Was, you remember, smashed in rear bumper. Everything looks good. They ordered a ton of new parts. We will discuss the full list of parts here very shortly. And just looking around, everything's looking real good. In fact, some of these parts were actually superseded my 2018 parts, and these are some of the same parts that come on a brand new Model 3. Everything's looking pretty good. They replaced the rear bumper. They replaced, I think, one of these ultrasonic sensors here. They replaced the under tray here. This is all brand new. In fact, this is the brand new under tray with a little door area here where you could install a hitch. Everything looks good around on this side. You know, they cleaned the car. There's a bit of pollen. This is April here in Maryland. Lots of pollen everywhere. They armor all the tires, and even the trunk opens and closes very well. Oh, actually, this looks like a new piece too. They had to replace this tray. So lots of new stuff here on the Model 3. Inside the back here, looks like they could recycle this. But I imagine the latch hook is new. All this carpet's new. This is all replaced. And we have the rear well, which is a full rear well. You can remember this was pushed in a good 40 to 50%. And it's just nice to have it back. Got our genuine Tesla parts. Lights are working. It's good. Let's take a look at the area I had them repair because of the damage. That was right over here. When I went to pick up the car, you can see there were scratches all through here. I don't know what they ran into. But that's all been replaced. Looks good. They fixed that. Looks like there's a little bit of fingerprints here. It probably got under the paint. It looks like they probably repainted the entire door and repainted this entire rear section, rear quarter panel as well. In fact, there were a couple scratches that were pre-existing in there that are now gone, so that's good. Thank you for that. Everything else looks good. In fact, I did have a dent up here in the A-pillar that looks like got filled as well. That was a dent that occurred that my bike wasn't attached to my roof rack with the rear wheel strap, came to a quick stop, and the bike flipped completely over and landed on the A-pillar here, indenting it. That was unfortunate, but I was really happy it didn't crack my window. All right, just to show you the complete repair, let's go ahead and go inside underneath the bumper here. We're under the Model 3, and I've removed the cover here for the hitch from this the new body panel that was replaced. Here's the new trunk floor assembly, or the rear storage bin that was dented in from the accident. This is the replacement one, all new. Then if we look a little bit deeper in here, we can see this piece of aluminum is the impact bar. And way up here, we've got another part that was replaced, the part of the rear assembly as well. So all looks good in here, but just wanted to take a quick peek up into the underside of the repair and look at all the great work that was done. All right, so again, just happy to have the Model 3 back. Would have been nice to have it back at the originally scheduled pickup, and I didn't have to find that damage. But glad the body shop took care of it for me. And in fact, like I showed you there, it looks like they took care of a little bit more than what they needed to. So, you know, I still probably can't give them 5 stars because of that. You know, and then of course the communication could have been better. I felt that the communication was a little lacking there. Personally, I'm a big fan of more regular updates, and I would only get updates when I called. I know they're busy, but as a customer with a car who's in for repair for multiple weeks, it's nice to have an update at least, every other week, right? Yeah, the only other thing that we have going on here is that we have to go through a camera calibration. Got the car back, and somehow it lost its calibration, maybe because it was powered down for a while. So calibration progress 0%. Hopefully that does quickly get calibrated. It says, according to Tesla, it could take up to 100 miles. So, all right, let's take a look at the parts list and the total cost of repairs. All right, let's take a look at the final cost of repairing my Model 3 here. Of course, we saw the initial estimate earlier in the video. That cost was $5,917.41. And as you might imagine, there were a few supplements or changes made to the estimate, or additions made to the estimate. And here we can see the final supplement, which was supplement 2, and added a few more different items here to the repair. Most notably, they added back in the impact resistant structural adhesive. For some reason in supplement 1, the insurance company asked for that to be removed, so the repair shop removed it, and then it got added back in supplement number 2. So here it is back in supplement number 2, added in at $241.70 for 2 of these tubes of the adhesive. Also, a couple things in here that to note was some additional labor costs here, with probably moving around wires and such while they were doing the repairs, including probably removing and replacing, or removing and inspecting the subwoofer and amplifier that are in the back of the car as well. And then they added a few more parts here from the quarter panel section of the car, including a right side trim at $65, a left rail extension, $159.50, the trunk trim in the front, $55, the right side trim, $65, left side trim, $65, the trunk trim, $44, and then a right rail extension for $165. There were some additional labor and paint labor totals added on to that as well. So the additional supplement here added another $1,373.55 to the original estimate. And we can see here is an additional $676.50 of parts, and then 5.8 hours of body labor at $48 an hour, 0.6 hours of paint labor at $48 an hour, 1 hour of mechanical labor at $85 an hour, and 0.6 hours of paint supplies at $32 per hour. And then additionally here, the miscellaneous is the structural adhesive at $241.70. So the grand total of all repairs to my Model 3 was $7,068.47, which included $3,333.98 worth of parts, 43.6 hours of body labor, 11.3 hours of paint labor, 2 hours of mechanical labor, $350 of paint supplies, and $338.14 of some miscellaneous supplies. $4,000 of it was taxed at 6%, so there's our grand total of $7,068.47. That's quite the cost to repair a bumper from an unattentive driver hitting the back of my Model 3.
Thanks for watching the video. If you really enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Test the Family channel for free here on YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll get back to you soon. We really appreciate all of our subscribers and anyone who watches our videos. Thank you very much. Check out more of our content linked on the end screen of this video and on the videos, shorts, and playlists tab of my YouTube channel. If you are on social media, follow us on X and like us on Facebook.